fire striking Mamaroneck Village.
Local merchants busted on selling booze to minors.
Mamaroneck Library's budget passes with flying colors.
News on the Nichols Boatyard controversy.
Ho, 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 Santa is coming to town.
And the common cold takes over area schools. All on this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Sven Oehme.
And I'm Alicia Myro. Our top story:
the discussion of the expansion plan of Nichols Boatyard in Mamaroneck on Rushmore Avenue has been a frequent news topic on our program. With an update on the latest developments, here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Jenny Newmeister.
Mamaroneck's Village Hall was the scene of yet another public hearing on the future of Nichols Boatyard's application to become a full-service marina. Attorney Bob Funincello, hired by the Indian Cove Association, formally objected to the Nichols application on the alcohol issue. Nichols, through an agreement reached with the Orient Point Association, has already agreed not to serve alcohol on its premises, but the village board is concerned with the future situation concerning the other two boatyards on the strip. Mamaroneck's marine industry and sheltered harbor make it unique, and it was one of those reasons that the state designated the village a historic maritime area. They would not want to see the industry lost. In an off-camera interview with Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, Mayor Joe Lanza expressed his concern over the alcohol service at boatyards and feels that he has come up with a possible solution. Stay tuned. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Jenny Newmeister.
Taxpayers supported Mamaroneck Library again by passing its budget and keeping up a tradition since the library became an independent public district in 1991. Mamaroneck Library is the only library in Westchester County that puts its budget to a vote. The $996,900 budget passed with 322 yes votes against 65 no votes, a 5-to-1 margin. Library officials were happy with the results. The 4 vacant library trustee seats were also voted for and will be filled by Beverly Neufeld, Judith Ross, John Hofstetter Jr., and Donald March. The library budget increased $56,100, or 6%, from last year, mostly due to high employee retirement benefit costs, the cost of books, videos, heating fuel, and utilities. The library is also interested in hiring more part-time employees. The cost of repairing the library's roof, however, was not included in the budget and will be paid through fundraising dollars. The tax rate under the new library budget is $12.39 per $1,000 of assessed property value, a 5% increase. And that's the end of this chapter.
As a result of a fire at 353 Mamaroneck Avenue on December 5th, 6 families were left homeless after the late-night blaze. A pit bull and 6 puppies perished in the fire. An initial investigation indicated that the fire may have started after a lamp had fallen on a bed. The lamp may have been knocked over by one of the dogs. The residents of the apartment where the fire started were not at home at the time of the incident. The fire apparently did not spread to any of the other 5 apartments, but smoke and water damage were caused. A store on the first floor of the house, Nature's Cove, was open for business the next day. The American Red Cross helped the families left homeless by the fire to cope with the situation.
Well, a flu wave is sweeping through our schools, and not just through our schools. Members of our news crew are also affected. In her report, Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Catherine Kaywood talks about the situation in our schools.
Flu and all sorts of respiratory ailments are sweeping the schools here in Westchester. 6 children have been hospitalized and many children are visiting their doctors. In Yorktown, Dr. Robert Schwartz had so many sick children that he canceled appointments for the children who were well. At Port Chester's John F. Kennedy Magnet School, absences have been 3 times higher than usual. And in the Harrison School District, absenteeism has doubled since Thanksgiving. At the Hommocks Middle School here in Mamaroneck, 14 students were sent home because of illness in a single day. As we said last week, the best way to prevent the flu and respiratory illnesses is to develop a strong immune system. Some people do this with vitamin C and echinacea, and I like to recommend a high-quality nutritional supplement, such as that by USANA. If your immune system is weak and you do get the flu, you can use oscillococcinum at the very first signs of the flu. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Catherine K. Wood.
Yeah, I'm fighting a little bit of a cold here right now, but
yeah, you're a little
so
bit.
far I'm doing all right.
You gotta stay healthy for the holidays.
I'll be well again. When the holidays start, you have to. The Westchester Board of Legislators and New York State have to vote on a new proposal that will affect anyone in the county who carries a gun permit. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Eric Berlin has the story.
People who own firearms in Westchester are looking at the beginning stages of an effort that would require them to register their guns every 5 years. The effort is headed by Westchester County Clerk Leonard Spano. Westchester has seen several violent crimes in the past year that involved guns, the most famous of which was the slaying of Eastchester police officer Michael Frey. Relatives of Officer Frey were present at the unveiling of the plan last week. The proposal is seeing opposition from the NRA and private gun owners who claim that it is the unlicensed gun holders that are the problem. County Clerk Spano said that the main purpose of the new plan is to keep up-to-date records of gun holders. Currently, gun permits are lifelong. The plan is similar to a plan that gained county approval in 1994 but failed on the state level. Spano hopes that the 1996 version has better success. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Eric Berlin.
A fire in the industrial district of Mamaroneck burned a hole in the roof of the building at 700 Waverly Avenue early one morning last week. The report of the fire at Composite Materials came at 5:10 a.m. It took firefighters about 1.5 hours to extinguish the flames. They were assisted by colleagues from the Rye Fire Department. Mostly cardboard boxes and other materials burned in the building. The fire is under investigation.
Well, Larchmont Mayor Cheryl Louie has been appointed co-chair of the Employee Relations Committee of the 555-member New York State Conference of Mayors. She will also serve on the Legislative Committee.
As we said before, the Mamaroneck Village Fire Department was very busy this week. At least in one of the 3 fires, they thought there was a very unexpected culprit. And Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Guy Vitro has the story.
Anna Horton and her mother Lynn had returned to their mother's home on Underhill Avenue last Wednesday to walk their 3 dogs. When they arrived, much to their surprise, the house was on fire. Apparently, one of the dogs had jumped up on the stove and turned on the gas. A plastic container was left on the stove that ignited the rest of the kitchen. The fire was promptly extinguished by the village fire department. This was the second fire that was caused by canine intervention. Early last week, a dog had knocked over a gas lamp in the apartment over the Nature's Cove health food shop on Mamaroneck Avenue. That blaze left 6 families homeless 2 weeks before the Christmas and New Year's celebration. This holiday season, please take precautions when lighting candles and be extra careful with flames around Christmas trees. As they get dry and brittle from being inside, they also become extremely flammable.
A different kind of alcohol abuse has been detected in Mamaroneck Village. Selling alcohol to anyone under the age of 21 is a misdemeanor under the state alcohol and beverage control law. And it's a law some village merchants may take more seriously. Mamaroneck Village Police began an investigation 4 weeks ago after receiving anonymous complaints about minors obtaining liquor in the village. Trying to cover a variety of stores, the police sent a 17-year-old girl and an 18-year-old boy to buy beer and wine in the village. If either were asked their age, they were instructed to tell the truth. But age didn't even come up in half of their attempts. Police say it was obvious the teenagers were minors. The alleged sales took place on November 21st, 27th, and 30th. Some of our local merchants charged were Tarrytown Market, Webster Variety Store, Cumberland Farms, Rourke's Deli, International Deli, Sage Deli, Post Road Stationery, O'Neill's, Joe Hay Deli, DeBrube's Deli, Gianna's Deli, Hillside Deli, Center Wine and Liquors, and Joe's Pizza. Summonses have been issued and all offenders are due in court this Thursday, December 19th. This crackdown on alcohol sales abuse will hopefully teach our merchants and minors to be more responsible.
The president of the Mamaroneck Historical Society, Donald March, gives us some details about the Norman Rockwell exhibit at the Emlyn Theater this Thursday.
Greetings of the season, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Donald March. I'm the president of Mamaroneck's Historical Society. I'd like to invite the members of the community to a very special program being brought to you by the Mamaroneck Historical Society, the Norman Rockwell Museum of Stockbridge, Massachusetts, and the Sound Shore Historical Coalition. This program will take place on December the 19th at the Emlyn Theater at 7:30 p.m. Admission is free. The production is 2 years in the making, and it's an attempt to bring a Norman Rockwell Christmas to Mamaroneck. Mamaroneck is one of the hosting communities, and New Rochelle and Mamaroneck are the only two communities in Westchester County that can actually claim that Norman Rockwell once was a resident. It's a very special holiday presentation. I hope you'll join us. I hope you'll bring your questions. I hope you'll bring your season's cheer. Thank you very much. May you have a very happy holiday season.
The water quality of Long Island Sound, and especially locations like Mamaroneck Harbor, are always of concern. A research group measured the water quality this summer. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Ginny Neumeister looked at the results of the study.
Save the Sound, a Connecticut-based research group, conducted tests for hypoxia in the waters of 3 harbors between mid-May and mid-October. The results from RI found that 4 of the 6 testing stations in Milton Harbor reached hypoxia during the summer, and in Mamaroneck Harbor it was 3 out of 5. That was unchanged from last year. None of the Echo Bay stations in New Rochelle Harbor reached hypoxia levels, but the oxygen levels did not measure up to state standards. Hypoxia is a low level of dissolved oxygen, and that's considered dangerous to animals. This year, however, according to the Daily Times, most hypoxia readings were recorded in September due to the wet summer. The report card for water quality, it's fair. Save the Sound says it's better than 94, but worse than last year. The plant, which needs the most serious upgrading to reduce levels of nitrogen before it gets into the waters of the Sound, is New Rochelle, and that's estimated at $16.7 million. Increased runoff of particles into the Sound from lawns and roads contribute to the problem. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Ginny Neumeister.
The Mamaroneck Library needs to do some repairs to the roof. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray has the story.
The Mamaroneck Library administrators are seeking funds to pay the $31,000 bill for the roof repairs. Ivis Nathan, president of the library district, says several people have contributed to the project. Donations can be sent to Library Fund, Mamaroneck Library, 136 Prospect Avenue, Mamaroneck, New York, 10543. Send in your donations for one of the unique library districts in Westchester County. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Glenna Gray.
The Mamaroneck branch of Citibank at 711 East Boston Post Road invites everybody to spend the day with Santa. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Ginny Neumeister tells us what Santa and the bank have to offer.
Citibank at 711 East Boston Post Road in Mamaroneck is having a visit from Santa on Saturday, December 21st from 9 in the morning to 1 p.m. Children of all ages can have their picture taken with Santa and will be given the photo in a little frame right on the spot. The Citibank office will also distribute little holiday gifts to visitors as long as supplies last, and the offer is open to everyone. It's their way of wishing you happy holidays. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Ginny Neumeister.
There are several top movies currently playing at the Mamaroneck Cinema on Mamaroneck Avenue. One of the most talked about is the latest from New York icon Barbra Streisand. The Mirror has two faces. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Matt Barron caught up with Streisand, Jeff Bridges, and the rest of the all-star cast at the New York premiere.
I'm Matt Barron at the Ziegfeld Theater, where Barbra Streisand's new movie, The Mirror Has Two Faces, in which she stars, produces, and directs, premiered. Many of her friends, including her best friend James Brolin, came to rally support. The Mirror Has Two Faces was the movie they came to see, but there was no doubt who the cameras were there for. The movie is set and was entirely filmed in New York City, a very special place for these stars.
Love it. I'm a New Yorker. I am so happy to be home. New York, it's my home. I love it. This is more exciting than Hollywood, can I tell you the truth?
Streisand also served as the film's director, and despite being a well-known perfectionist, she made it easy for her co-stars.
I like it. I mean, I've been that way all my life. Perhaps not as much as she is, but I admire it and respect it.
I think that's a great thing, especially for a director, you know, somebody who's willing to really have the persistence to make sure that their vision gets up there on screen, willing to, you know, whatever it takes.
She's pretty upfront. There's not a lot of mystique about it. She's great. She knows exactly what she wants, and she knows how to achieve it.
She is indeed special. Yeah.
A slew of stars, from musicians to TV news anchors to Hollywood's elite, turned out for the post-premiere party at Tavern on the Green. The Mirror Has Two Faces is currently playing at the Mamaroneck Playhouse. I'm Matt Barron for Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
We're almost at the end of this news show. It's also the end of this year's last news show. This is a good opportunity to thank you for watching this show during this year. We try to bring to you what is happening in Larchmont and the two Mamaronecks, the town and the village. This news program is almost like the history of our area on video. We've been doing the news show since the fall of 1989. Back then we had no idea that we would be still doing it today. Since then we've done about 325 shows. Can you believe that?
I can't believe it. But you know, of the people who started, we still have with us Roger Norum, Jeff Montanaro, and Sven Nome still around. Also, our current team consists of Frank DeVincent, Glenna Gray, Ginny Neumeister, Missy Moak, Kathleen Hurley, John Lynch, Lisa Catucci-Manning, Eric Berlin, Guy Vitro, Jamie Stein, Joe Jablanowski, and, myself. And everybody's going to be back next year.
And that's it for this week's edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. You can watch the news show Monday through Friday at about 7 in the evening.
Or you can request it on LMC's Request TV. Just call the Palmer Avenue studio at 698-6808 and request the new show be put on the air on one of LMC-TV's channels 14, 15, and 16. It may just be a couple of minutes until the show comes on, especially for you.
All of us who work on this program are volunteers. No one on this show is employed by LMC-TV. So there's a lot of work involved in doing the news show. We always have room for new people who'd like to join us. It's a fun way to get involved in community affairs. In addition, you can learn a lot about television news.
Every Thursday night, we meet at about 7 p.m. and work on this news program, taping the various segments that make up the final show that you watch later. In case you would like to join us, wait until next year. This is the last news program that we're doing in 1996 due to the upcoming holidays.
And when you decide to join us, you'll find us in LMC's Palmer Avenue studio, which is in the Mamaroneck High School building, right up the stairs from Walter's Hot Dog Stand on Palmer Avenue. Also, if you have a story or some video which you think we might like to use on this program, come by on a Thursday night and we'll most likely use your story.
Or if you have any comments, suggestions, or some criticism, but can't come on a Thursday night, you can also send us a letter. The address is Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, care of LMC-TV, 1 Library Lane, Mamaroneck, New York, 10543. Thanks for sharing your time with us watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Alicia Myro.
And I'm Sven Oehmer. And finally, happy holidays and our very best wishes for 1997. And I did put on my Santa Claus.
You sure did.
Starbucks getting a big okay and maybe pouring the Java soon in Larchmont.
$100 grand for Harbor Island Park.
Car crash shut some power down in Larchmont.
Cable rates climbing, satisfaction down.
A recipe to spruce up Mamaroneck Avenue.
A stabbing in Larchmont and a look at the police blotter.
And what about your New Year's resolutions?
Those stories and more on this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
Welcome to the first 1997 edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norum.
And I'm Alicia Myro. Our top story. Starbucks got another opportunity to speak in front of the Larchmont Zoning Board of Appeals last week, and it's full steam ahead. A large chain that specializes in coffee drinks, Starbucks, will set up shop in Larchmont Village on Palmer Avenue. Starbucks has been in front of the board before, but zoning officials wanted more information about traffic and other similar issues before reaching a decision. Many Larchmont merchants were opposed to the national chain in fear that it would bring in other chain stores and destroy the small-town charm of Larchmont. These merchants claim that chains can't provide the personal service that smaller stores do, and that rents would rise and push out the smaller merchants. About 450 shoppers agreed by signing a petition submitted to the zoning board. Starbucks said it is sensitive to local needs by tailoring its stores to small communities, and several residents and merchants welcome the addition. There's no beans about it. This coffee shop debate has been hot, and all that's left is a zoning board's requirement to file its approval with the village clerk. If no legal challenges are filed within 30 days, Starbucks will get the go-ahead. A mid-March opening would be the plan.
When your house is on fire and you're waiting for the fire department, seconds seem like minutes or more. The Mamaroneck Village Fire Department had a resident charge just that it took too long for the fire trucks to arrive to put out his fire. But the fire chief says not so. More on the story from Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Eric Berlin. And he has an interview with Mamaroneck Village Fire Chief Felix Hughes.
We got a report of a fire in the area. It was initially reported in the area of Jefferson and Halstead, and further information that the police received told us there was a house fire on Grade Street. Once the tones went off for our pagers, we had apparatus on the road within 30 seconds, and we were probably on the scene in probably about a minute and a half at the tops, 2 minutes, because the apparatus responded from Lower Mamaroneck Avenue and the firehouse on Palmer Avenue by the post office. So probably only took us probably about a minute to get there.
Okay, was that relatively quickly? And
that particular day was we probably had a real good response because there were some guys in the firehouse having lunch. so our response was even better than it normally is.
Okay, your average response time is usually 3 to 5 minutes, is that correct?
5 minutes on the outside, probably usually more closer to 3 to 4 minutes for a normal response, yes.
Okay. Now, we have a spectator or a person who called in who said that he felt that your response time, was in the article today, was 10 minutes. Is that possible?
No possible way. I don't know if he states that he called. I'm not sure where he called. If he happened to have used the cellular phone, the cellular phone 911 goes to State Police Hawthorne and then feeds us back to the local jurisdiction. So I'm not sure if he did make the phone call via cellular phone, which certainly would have added to the delay. But I know the local PD certainly got numerous 911 calls from within the village, which they received directly, and in turn dispatched us accordingly.
Chief, why would a call from a cell phone lengthen the response time?
Because just the way the cellular phone network is set up, it's somehow, I guess they route it through the local state police, because I guess the only way that they can, due to the various cellular towers throughout the county and that.
Have you had any other complaints about the response time?
No, I haven't had any other complaints other than the one that appeared in today's paper.
Okay. How did that make you feel?
Doesn't make me feel too overly good, but I know that we did get out quickly, and we did a good job and saved saved part of the house due to a heavy fire upon arrival.
Of the fire?
It was determined to be electrical from an electrical lamp in the bedroom.
One last question: How did the rest of your department feel about seeing this article?
A little upset. I've heard a lot of comments from my membership during the day today. They were not happy seeing it, but we know, that we did a good job. But somehow or another, somebody out there feels that we might have taken our time, but that was certainly not the case.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us, Chief Felix Hughes from the Mamaroneck Village Fire Department.
Cable customers may get excited about new channels, but they complain about rising cable rates. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sven Ume has more information on recent increases.
More and more cable customers are complaining because their monthly rates seem to be going up. Cable companies argue that they have made significant investments to improve the quality of local cable systems. New fiber optic cables are more expensive but allow more channels to be carried and improve the signal quality. Cable companies also have to pay higher fees for some cable stations that they carry. The deregulation of the cable industry about 2 years ago by Congress has given cable companies greater flexibility in the rates they can charge customers. And cable customers also have greater flexibility today in ordering the services that they need or wish to have. On September 25th, a new franchise agreement between TCI, our local cable company, and Larchmont, the town and the village of Mamaroneck, was signed by the top officials of the 3 municipalities. The document was later signed by representatives of the cable company, TCI, and it was then sent to Albany for review by New York State. And word has reached us that that approval has now been received. The new franchise agreement will mean for LMC-TV that we can update equipment and aim to meet the standards of quality again that we were all used to a couple of years back.
A car accident doesn't often affect power, but one recent one did in Larchmont. For residents there, Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Lisa Catucci-Manning has more.
Con Edison restored power to approximately 150 homes located along Palmer Avenue in Larchmont after a car accident left residents without light. Scott A. Gedney of 9 Forest Avenue was driving east on Palmer when he struck a utility pole near Hall Avenue. A section of Palmer along Weaver was closed for several hours while the damage was repaired and power was restored. Gedney received a ticket for driving after 9 o'clock since he held a junior license. The accident had occurred at 9:40 at night. Neither Gedney nor his 16-year-old passenger suffered any injuries. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Lisa Catucci-Manning.
Well, it's time to take a look at a few recent items from the police blotter. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Eric Berlin has that for us.
A couple of burglaries to report in this week's blotter. In the town of Mamaroneck, a Myrtle Boulevard home was broken into. The residents reported the theft of 150 compact discs, a CD player, gold ring, and 2 watches. The theft occurred on the morning of January 6th. In the town of Mamaroneck, the Sea Grill restaurant reported the break-in of their storage room. However, nothing was reported stolen. Finally, in the village of Larchmont, the 3 cars were broken into and pilfered during the early evening of January 7th. A $300 stereo and $225 radar detector were among the things stolen.
As of the taping of this program, Larchmont police continue to investigate the stabbing of 17-year-old Thomas O'Keefe of 1206 Palmer Avenue a week ago. The assault occurred outside a Went Avenue home during an unsupervised party being hosted by another 17-year-old. O'Keefe was stabbed in the right thigh at about 11 p.m. during a fight and was released after treatment at United Hospital Medical Center in Port Chester.
A tasty way to raise some money for a very worthwhile mission.
Cookbook collectors have a new cookbook to look forward to soon. A Mamaroneck cookbook will feature recipes from people, restaurants, and various organizations in Mamaroneck and its neighboring communities. The profits from its sale will go towards the beautification of Mamaroneck Avenue, such as making the garbage containers and the various signs more attractive. The tentative title is OW8, which represents 698, the first 3 numbers of many Mamaroneck phone numbers. The cookbook will also include historical information and pictures from old postcards. So if you would like to submit a recipe for the Mamaroneck Avenue Benefit Cookbook, you can leave it at the Ritz at 410 Mamaroneck Avenue, or you may phone 698-2977 for more information. Once the cookbook is published, its organizers hope that a full-time committee will be established to encourage the beautification of Mamaroneck Avenue. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Catherine K. Wood.
It's been talked about for years in the village of Mamaroneck. Many residents feel there are just too many auto shops in the industrial area. The area bordering from the train tracks to the thruway and from Rockland Avenue to the Mamaroneck River. There are so many auto repair and body shops in the area that a year ago, last January, the Village Board of Trustees ordered a moratorium on any new auto shops for the industrial area while it figures out just what kind of businesses it wants to encourage in the location. Meantime, the Westchester County Planning Department is also studying the situation and should be issuing its report before the end of the month. The Daily Times quotes Mamaroneck Village trustee Stephen Goldstein saying that the village will probably follow the county recommendation, but there's always the chance the village could go in some other direction. At least one consultant has said the industrial area would benefit from more diversity in the type of businesses there. Stay tuned.
What's this? Shopping with no sales tax? You heard it right. And to tell us more about it, here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Ginny Neumeister.
Have you any energy left after all the holiday shopping you may have done? Well, another shopping experience is right around the corner. You can shop till you drop, free of sales tax, from January 18th through January 24th. Sales tax has been suspended on items of clothing as worn by humans, says the state. Pet clothing is not included in the exemption. For items under $500, shoes, and fabrics used to make clothing. Most merchants will have the information available to their patrons, and many will be offering specials. We'll bring you more on this event next week, so stay tuned. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Ginny Neumeister.
A status report on the 227-unit apartment complex called Willow on the old Pure Food site. The quote in the Daily Times, "It's finally all ready to go." The words of a development director for Avalon Properties regarding the planned mid-rise apartment complex on Mamaroneck Avenue across from the A&P. Well, it's almost ready to go. Connecticut-based Avalon says it still has one final property closing on 1.7 acres, and it hopes to start drilling by April or May. Avalon is planning to spend nearly $40 million to build Willow. And another building project in Mamaroneck Village, the Regatta, just in from the Post Road next to the Dime Savings Bank. That 117-unit condo complex is just about all set for the actual construction crews. It's hoped the Regatta will be ready for occupancy by the end of the year. Alicia?
Wow, looks like we're going to have a lot more people in our area.
Well, there's so many of these building complexes that have been going on. The condominium at where is it?
Continental View?
Continental View, across from the CVS there and on the Post Road. Then that's 3 in Mamaroneck Village alone.
And then the Willow.
And so in one sense, they're talking about more congestion, but at the same time, maybe fewer taxes.
I like that. Well, Mamaroneck Suburban Karting having a problem with a county license renewal and a big contract. More from Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Eric Berlin.
The Westchester Board of Legislators will vote this week whether or not to extend the contract of the Mamaroneck-based Suburban Karting Company to transport waste from the Westchester County Airport. Suburban Karting was named in an indictment that charged connections to organized crime. The indictment also charged that the company allegedly beat up competitors and burned their trucks. County Executive Andrew O'Rourke stated that he would not support the company's bid because of the shadow connected with it. However, O'Rourke has endorsed SCC's latest competitive bid that would save the county up to $85,000. If the contract is not extended, the sanitation company could stand to lose almost $700,000. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, Eric Berlin reporting.
The 1997 budget for Metro North is out. The good news, no fare hikes are planned for 1997. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sven Ome tells us more about those budget numbers.
The budget for Metro North Railroad shows only a small increase for this year. Operating expenses are up 1.9%. The total budget is $578 million. Close to 64% of the budget are covered by revenues, mostly the money from ticket sales. Fares in Connecticut went up at the beginning of this year, but fares in our area are not supposed to increase during this year. Subsidies by the state of New York and the state of Connecticut fill the budget gap. Railroad officials point out that the subsidies from the states will be down by about $25 million from last year.
Air quality. What's it mean to you? It should mean quite a lot. And to take a closer look at the Clean Air Act, here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Jenny Neumeister.
The Empire State Development Corporation's Division for Small Businesses is sponsoring a series of scoping sessions to help small businesses comply with the amendments to the Clean Air Act. Approximately 40,000 small businesses in the state are affected, and they include gas stations, auto repair shops, laundry and dry cleaners, machinery and equipment companies, and commercial printers, to name just a few. Many of them are in our area. Your business may qualify for free assistance under this state program if your business is independently owned and operated with fewer than 100 employees. Inquiries are held in the strictest confidence. For general information, call 1-800-782-8369, and for technical and compliance information, call 1-800-780-7227. Additional scoping sessions will be held at the Marriott in Melville on January 15th and at the New York Power Authority in Manhattan on January 22nd. Deadlines for compliance are coming up soon. Information is also available at your local Chamber of Commerce offices. Thank you. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Ginny Neumeister.
Another effort in the battle against hate crimes and anti-Semitic graffiti. Here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Eric Berlin. Eric?
It has been almost a year since the first signs of anti-Semitism to appear in the Larchmont Mamaroneck area. It is appropriate that the Westchester Jewish Center will sponsor a lecture series that will examine the Jewish community and study contemporary anti-Semitism. The series will be led by Deborah Lipstadt, author and professor at Atlanta's Emory University. Several well-publicized acts of anti-Semitism in the area include desecrations of homes in the Orientis section of Mamaroneck and behind Wingfoot Golf Course. Lipstadt is a student of the Holocaust and has appeared on several news programs.
A very nice New Year's present for Harbor Island Park, and it's very green. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Kathleen Hurley with details.
More than 120 projects statewide will be funded through the State Environmental Protection Fund, announced Governor George Pataki. Mamaroneck Village's Harbor Island Park was among the municipalities getting some of the top money, and we know it will be well spent. You heard about it first on Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News when the award was announced, and now we're happy to see that the village apparently received the funds. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Kathleen Hurley.
Have you made and already broken your New Year's resolutions? Jamie Stein checks out some area residents on their New Year's resolutions.
Happy New Year! Yes, it's 1997 and we know what this time of year is. Time to make New Year's resolutions. I had a chance to speak to some local residents to find out if they do have any New Year's resolutions. So let's go find out. For the local television.
Forgiveness is the thing that I have to learn how to do. So that's it. And a couple other things.
Oh, she's a pretty good girl.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just being good this year.
New Year's resolutions are to stick with my exercise program. I've been doing pretty good, but I know I can do a little bit better. So I'm just going to make sure I stick to my agenda and follow through with the plans that I have for my fitness to make sure that I keep my well-being and sanity throughout the next year.
Just saving money, that's what I say.
My New Year's resolution is that I am going to try to be a much better person for myself so I can help other people be better to their own selves. And that includes getting everybody focused in like what they're going to do with this year that is coming, because before they know it, another 12 months is going to pass you by and you're going to be back in the same position you was in January 1997.
There you go. Well, you must have a New Year's resolution.
Oh my God.
You have a New Year's resolution?
Yeah,
And
to
what
think
is it?
Put myself now before anybody else. That is the truth.
My New Year's resolution is quit smoking these. These are no good for you.
Don't have a New Year's resolution.
For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Jamie Stein.
One of the most respected and loved elder citizens in this area who died late last year is being honored and remembered. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Kathleen Hurley has more.
Community of Mamaroneck has lost one of its most respectable residents. Burton C. Megan died on Tuesday, December 31st, 1996 at the age of 96. He lived his whole life in Mamaroneck, serving as a historian for both the town and village. He was a partner of his family's law firm in Mamaroneck, and he actively contributed time to many community and professional organizations, such as the Town Board and the Republican Town Committee. He was president of the Mamaroneck United Methodist Church Board of Trustees and director of the Larchmont Federal Savings and Loan Association. He is survived by his wife, Grace McCann, 2 sons, a daughter, a stepson, 1 brother and sister, and 10 grandchildren. Burton Megan lived his life to the fullest and has given so much to this community. His memory will live on in many ways. A memorial service was held on January 11th at the Mamaroneck United Methodist Church. All of us here at Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News send our condolences to his family. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Kathleen Hurley.
And that's it for this first edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News for 1997. In case you missed any portion of this news show, you can see it again.
This program is on Channel 14, LMC-TV, Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Also, you can call LMC-TV and ask to see this week's news show. The number to call is 698-6808 after 4 p.m.
The crew at LMC-TV will do their best to put Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News on at a time that's convenient for you to watch. Remember, the number to call after 4 p.m. is 698-6808 and ask to see the news show.
Those of us who produce this news program are all volunteers, and we can always use some help. It could be a fun community activity for you to start the new year off.
If you think you might want to join us, drop by when we record the program, just about every Thursday night. We work on the show at the LMC-TV studio. The studios are located in Mamaroneck High School on the Palmer Avenue side, just up the stairs from Walter's Hot Dog Stand. We get things going around 7 o'clock.
Please send your comments, suggestions, and news items to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, care of LMC-TV, 1 Library Lane, Mamaroneck, New York, 10543.
And thanks for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norham.
And I'm Alicia Myro. We'll see you next time.
And just think, only about 65 days until spring.
Uh-oh, another countdown. Kentucky plan cuts property taxes, but everyone's not included.
Municipalities look at their top 1997 issues.
Elementary school report card from state creates controversy, and Mamaroneck responds.
Decision draws near on Nichols Boatyard.
The Sheldrake River turns green. Are you dying to find out why?
And area schools get ready for the long haul.
All those stories and more on this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. Hello and welcome to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Alicia Myro.
And I'm Ginny Neumeister. Our top story? We all feel the burden of high property taxes, and sometimes that cost can put the house of our dreams out of reach. But according to Governor George Pataki, relief is on the way. Over a 4-year period, property taxes would be reduced by an average of about 27%. The actual dollar amount would vary according to the median value of your home. Senior citizens would see the most savings. Opponents of the plan said it leaves out owners of co-op apartments, and they should be included in the mix. The tax cuts would be paid for by estate funding consisting of lottery proceeds and income tax revenues. I'm sure we'll hear more about this one. Alicia?
New York State's published report card on our schools states some pupils are falling behind in reading. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray reports.
The Mamaroneck School District as a whole received an E for excellence from the state. However, there is still room for improvement. The 3rd grade reading test showed that 96% of the students at Chatsworth Avenue School reached the state's reference point. 98% of the students at Central and Murray Avenue schools attained the point. 77% of the students at Mamaroneck Avenue reached the point. The students who do not reach the mark are required to have remedial classes. The state report card compares Mamaroneck schools with Bronxville, Scarsdale, and other similar districts. The state test does not take into account special factors. On the whole, Mamaroneck students' percentages of students with limited English proficiency are comparable with other students in those same districts. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I am Glenna Gray.
And for more on this subject, Mamaroneck school officials reassure taxpayers about the quality of education their children are receiving. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Catherine Kaywood has the details.
On the state test, the third graders at the Mamaroneck Avenue School had only a 77% score, whereas third graders at Murray Avenue, Chatsworth Avenue, and the Central School met or exceeded the percentages of similar schools. One of the reasons for these lower scores is that there is a larger percentage of students who speak limited English at the Mamaroneck Avenue School. In reading scores, the Chatsworth Avenue School is tied for the highest in the county, and the Murray Avenue School is just behind them. In science, writing, and math, all 4 elementary schools are among the highest in the county. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Catherine K. Wood.
Our local municipalities are focusing on some top to-dos for the start of 1997. Larchmont continues to investigate the reorganization of its fire department. Trustees are concerned over the high overtime costs and even commissioned an evaluation last year. The department has 14 paid firemen and many volunteers. Larchmont's paid firemen submitted a report of their own, and the volunteers have critiqued them. It is now up to the Board of Trustees to determine the approach. A decision is expected in February. Other topics include smoothing out the Metro North parking meter process. Some residents complain about the new machines put in place months ago. Mayor Louie urges people to give themselves a little more time. Larchmont's playing fields will get a closer look now that Lorenzen Park has been redone, and updating traffic signs throughout the village is also on the top of the list. Larchmont also wants to update their zoning codes so they'll be easier to understand. Larchmont and Mamaroneck Town will both focus on flooding and runoff into the Long Island Sound, as well as upgrading storm drains. Mamaroneck Town will also explore ways to bring out its diversity and fellowship in light of recent hate crimes. Well, it looks like our community will be busy, and we'll be giving you the latest on all these topics and more.
Another village election is coming up this March, and according to the Daily Times, Mayor Joseph Lanza and trustee Walter Rogers, who are up for re-election this year, have gotten high marks from village residents on the way they've brought the community together in the wake of bias incidents. Also on their agenda are geese, or finding them a new home, as well as to see the completion of 2 middle-income housing projects, the Regatta on Mamaroneck Avenue and the Avalon project on the former Pure Foods food site. Alicia?
Well, the Mamaroneck Town Council is looking for new ways to make the town center more attractive. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Lisa Catucci-Manning has the details.
Town officials plan to liven up Mamaroneck Town's meeting room with a mural. Presently, photographs of former supervisors line the sidewalls, while white is the predominant color, with only a large gray block behind the long meeting table that also serves as the judge's bench. Officials will run a contest to solicit ideas for the mural, which will replace the meeting room's gray walls. Town Supervisor Elaine Price and Paula Lipset, chairwoman of Mamaroneck Town's Historical Society, want the mural to depict some aspect of the town's history. Besides creating a mural, a Sunday afternoon barbecue will be held at the town center in May. Historical photos and a videotape will be shown. Another project, which is in the works, involves creating markers at 7 places of historical interest. No decision has been made yet as to the sites. However, the old schoolhouse on Weaver Street is being considered, Winged Foot Golf Club, and maybe even the Rock in the middle of Rockingstone Avenue. New signs and banners depicting Mamaroneck's history and conservation efforts, including the town's date of founding and an American Indian's profile, will be placed along Boston Post Road and other major roads. The town may also create a pamphlet commemorating the first town meeting, which occurred 300 years ago. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Lisa Catucci-Manning.
Schools are getting ready for the long haul, and Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Catherine K. Wood fills us in on their plans and how they may affect you.
Can you imagine? Many school districts in Westchester will have 15 weeks of no real break between Christmas vacation and the spring break. Instead, they will have 3 long weekends and some half-days for teacher conferences. One advantage to this system is that it provides a cushion in case we lose school days because of snow, and many teachers feel that students do not accomplish much in the days just before a holiday, and then after the holiday, it takes them a while to get back into the groove of things. People who favor the week-long break say that the kids need a break, the weather can be bad, and many families plan this vacation months in advance. The Mamaroneck School District is one of the districts maintaining the full week of break in February. Evidently, both the school staff and the community favor the week-long break. Perhaps the new schedule will make flying in and out of our airports a bit easier this February. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Catherine K. Wood.
For an update on local police activity, here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Lisa Catucci Manning with news from the police blotter.
A 23-year-old Bronx woman was charged with petty larceny when she was caught stealing 3 bags of frozen shrimp from the A&P in Mamaroneck Village. In another incident, Blood Brothers auto wreckers reported that a cassette stereo was taken from a car parked on their property. On Beach Avenue in Mamaroneck, about a dozen car tires were slashed. Some damage was discovered, and police found 11 other cars of various makes and models had been damaged. In Mamaroneck Town, a break-in was attempted in a Hickory Grove Drive home, but nothing was discovered missing. And 2 Philadelphia residents were arrested when police stopped them for unlicensed operation of a vehicle that later was found to be stolen. The parties were picked up and charged when they went to pick up the van at Vincent's Auto Body Shop and are being held in the county jail.
The use of pepper spray has hit the headlines recently as a tool in law enforcement. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Joe Haviland has the latest.
Last week, Village Mamaroneck police were forced to use pepper spray to subdue an unruly Mamaroneck man. 19-year-old William Hall, who'd become loud and abusive, was sprayed by Officer Guy Massey, then handcuffed and taken to police station. The spraying occurred around 10 p.m. Wednesday after Officers Massey and Bernard McNally asked a group of men, including Hall, to move from in front of 342 Mamaroneck Avenue, where they were reportedly blocking the sidewalk. Hall was charged with second-degree attempted assault, resisting arrest, and disorderly conduct, and unlawful possession of marijuana. According to Detective Sergeant Robert Holland, village police officers carry pepper spray but rarely use it. In recent years, a number of police departments throughout the Westchester area have begun issuing pepper spray to their officers. It's for the officers' safety as well as the suspects, said Holland in a Daily Times interview. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Joe Haviland.
Westchester County's Board of Acquisition and Contract was scheduled to vote last week on a $669,000 contract for trash disposal services with Suburban Carting Corp., a Mamaroneck company, under federal indictment. But legislator Thomas Abenanti of Greenburgh wanted to know why Suburban was even being considered. 7 months ago, County Executive Andrew O'Rourke ended one of Suburban's contracts with the county after they were indicted for alleged connections to organized crime involving racketeering, extortion, and bribery in connection with control of Westchester's garbage industry. The vote was only postponed for a few days, and we'll get you the results.
Water in the Sheldrake River was green, and residents want to know why. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Lisa Catucci Manning explains.
The bright green color of the Sheldrake River, which flows behind the Mamaroneck Village train station, prompted police to call the Westchester County Health Department. Inspectors sent by the Health Department suspected that the dye had been used to test for leaks from something like roof gutters or a septic system. Although they did not believe that there was a health hazard, inspectors continued to search for the source of the river's strange green color. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Lisa Catucci Manning.
Could this be the final public hearing on the Nichols Boatyard proposal? For more, here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Joe Haviland with the update.
According to the Daily Times, another public hearing on the marine zone and the proposal to upgrade its boatyard by Nichols is scheduled for February 10th at Mamaroneck's Village Hall. This time, however, Mayor Joseph Lanza will propose a solution to the problem of rezoning and solve the alcohol issue that has become a sticking point for residents of Indian Cove condominiums. Oriental Point Association has already negotiated their issues with the property owner. The meeting is scheduled for 8 p.m. This is Joe Haviland for Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Jamie Stein is out and about again. Let's see what she's up to.
I'm here with Donna Verone, the General Manager and Fitness Consultant at Total Fitness in Larchmont. So Donna, it's the new year. A lot of people want to tone up, lose weight, and get healthy. What would you suggest?
Well, it's very important that you understand that the right combination of nutrition, good nutrition, not pretzels until 6 o'clock at night, weight-bearing exercise and cardiovascular training, and doing it properly. Understanding your target heart zone when you are doing your cardiovascular training, understanding how much weight to lift, what body parts you should be working, and of course, what you're eating.
Okay, now say, I'm not really that into working out. I don't feel that motivated. I mean, it does have to come from within, we both know. Would you suggest maybe having someone start out 3 times a week for 20 minutes on the treadmill?
If you haven't been working out and most people's main concern is losing weight, I would say yes. And I would do at least a half hour. You need to get your metabolism working efficiently, and it takes about 20 minutes for that to kick in. So anything after 20 minutes is where you're going to see the benefits. Cardiovascular and abdominals, everybody's favorite thing, can be done every day. Weights should be done every other day. Your muscles need 48 hours to recuperate. So if you need to work out, if it's your schedule is such that you have to work out 2 days in a row, you do upper body one day, lower the next, giving the other muscles time to recuperate.
Now, Donna would like to also make sure that you know that it does have to be a healthy balance between food, nutrition, and physical activity.
Right.
At least 30 minutes, 3 times a week. Okay, to help you get started, Total Fitness has some deals going on for the new year, so let's find out what Donna has to say about that.
Well, my suggestion is to take a short-term membership wherever you choose to work out, because you need to know you're going to be consistent. You don't want to invest a lot of money initially and then get frustrated and not go to the gym and be angry that you invested all this money. So what we do is we offer a discounted 1-month trial membership.
And you can even get a 1-week pass, trial pass.
And we also do offer 3-day passes just to try the gym. We do have a lot of older people joining the gym, people that have never worked out before, and we want them to feel comfortable. So short term would be the way to go. The College of Sports Medicine advises 3 to 5 times a week, but to get started, everything should be gradual and work into your schedule. That's the main thing. Not so that you're rushing or you're giving something else up to do this. You should find that. I tell everybody that's starting, pick a time 3 times a week. That's the time you go to the gym. Make that your time. You don't make dentist appointments, doctor appointments. You don't take your children anywhere. You come to the gym. That's your time. And then once you fall into a routine, then you'll become committed to it.
Now, as Donna and I are very committed, we work out every day. Thanks a lot, Donna, for helping everybody have a healthy 97.
Same to you.
So those are just a few helpful hints to help you get fit for 1997. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Jamie Stein. Happy fitness.
And that's it for this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. In case you missed any portion of this show, you can see it again.
This program is on LMC-TV Channel 14, Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Also, you can call LMC-TV and ask to see this week's show. The number to call is 698-6808 after 4 p.m. and ask to see the news show.
The crew at LMC-TV will do their best to put the news on at a time that is convenient for you to watch. Remember, the number to call after 4 p.m. is 698-6808 and ask to see the news show.
Those of us who produce this news show are all volunteers, and we can always use some help. It could be a fun New Year's activity.
If you think you might want to join us, drop by when we record this program just about every Thursday night. We work on the show at the LMC-TV studio at the Mamaroneck High School's Palmer unit, just up the stairs across from Walter's hot dog stand. We get things going around 8 o'clock.
Please send your comments, suggestions, and news items to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News in care of LMC-TV, 1 Library Lane, Mamaroneck, New York, 10543.
Thanks for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Alicia Myro.
And I'm Ginny Newmeister. See you next time.
And it's so wonderful having you anchor here.
Rhinebeck schools proud of their New York State report card.
Crumbling seawall at Harbor Island Park will finally be repaired.
The Boyfriend, it's off Broadway and playing at Chatsworth Avenue School.
The town is out to fight the erosion of the Sheldrake River.
New signs in the village of Mamaroneck direct shoppers to parking lots.
Citizens panel pushes for a speedy cleanup of Long Island Sound.
And the area gets ready for the PGA.
Those stories and more on Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
Hello and welcome to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norum.
And I'm Ginny Newmeister. Our top story. A report card is out on how the Rhinebeck School District is doing. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray has the grades.
Superintendent Peter Mustig of the Rhinebeck School District is quite pleased with the state report card. His elementary schools compared favorably with students in similar districts. In the third grade reading test, 98% of the students scored above the state set minimum. At the middle school, 98% of the students scored above the reference point in writing. The sixth graders tested 100% above the state minimum in mathematics. At the high school level, the test results were mixed.
2 Sundays ago, the robbery action was not on the quad screens at the Mamaroneck Playhouse on Mamaroneck Avenue. It was in the manager's office. 2 armed robbers wearing ski masks broke into the theater manager's office. The Daily Times quotes village police saying the robbers threatened 2 of the workers in the office and stole somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000. No one was hurt in the robbery, and police say the bandits got away before witnesses could give a clear description of them. The Daily Times says there's speculation the robbers could be linked to some other recent armed robberies in Westchester County. Jenny?
A lot's happening in the town and on the town. And to find out just what, Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sven Ome spoke with Valerie Moore O'Keefe of the Mamaroneck Town Council.
Well, we had several things happen. We authorized a bond resolution to finalize the Homix pool expansion. And we're a little bit over our projected budget, about $42,000 over it, because we had to drive piles at the site. And the bedrock was farther down than we thought it was, so that we had to spend another $42,000, and we're about $500,000 in toto. The work is on schedule, and actually a little bit ahead of schedule this year because we haven't had the snow that we had last year. So we're looking forward to a nice new kiddie pool, training pool, Homix pool area for the residents to enjoy.
Well, that's good. Certainly look forward to that. I guess the firemen in the town are also happy that you approved a new piece of equipment.
The town fire department and the truck people who were studying the new kind of truck are, I think, very happy that finally, after all the work that the bids had been put out, and that the town has accepted a bid for a replacement for engine 19, which is a big old white engine ladder truck. Ladder 19, and we came in much cheaper than we thought, and we have a bid that we accepted for $421,000. So we think we've got a good piece of equipment and a good price on that.
But it'll take some time.
That'll take probably a year or so to deliver.
Now, something else that's going to happen in the near future is a meeting this week, actually, on the duck pond.
Yes, on Wednesday night at the town center at 8 o'clock, there will be a meeting for any interested persons along the duck pond and the brook, or anybody else in the neighborhood that's interested, to discuss a plan to stop or to prevent more erosion around the brook. We've put dry wall in there over the last several years, but now we realize that we need to put some plantings in there, and we've gotten a grant from the state for $30,000. We'll match that grant, and we will have a horticulturist, an expert, at the town hall to discuss with the residents what kind of plantings would be the most efficacious and what they'd like to see as far as aesthetic enhancement of the neighborhood. So everyone's invited to that.
Right, and that's, again, the date is, I guess, January
29th at 8 o'clock in the town center.
Thank you very much for this update on what's happening in the town.
Glad to be here.
Thank you.
The Village Board of Trustees in Mamaroneck last week revised the salaries of its management staff. According to the Soundview News, 13 of its staff received increases of 3.5% retroactive to June 1st, 1996. Included are the village manager, who also got a new contract, clerk treasurer, deputy clerk treasurer, and general foreman, and right down the line to the code enforcement officer.
This week in Mamaroneck Village, we should know who the Democrat candidates for mayor and village trustee are. Village Republicans have already announced the running of incumbent Mayor Joe Lanza for a second full term and incumbent trustee Walter Rogers. Joe Lanza has been mayor of Mamaroneck since 1994 when he was appointed to the slot when Paul Noto was elected to the Westchester County Board of Legislators. Deputy Mayor Walter Rogers is seeking his 5th term on the Mamaroneck Village Board. As for the Democrats, they meet this Tuesday night in the Mamaroneck Public Library Community Room beginning at 8 p.m. to nominate and elect their candidates. Cindy Goldstein, who chairs Village Democrats, is the wife of Village Trustee Steve Goldstein, and she says the Democrats will field candidates for both the mayor and trustee seats.
If you're a boater and traveled the waters of Mamaroneck Harbor last boating season, you probably noticed the Harbor Island seawalls are in bad need of repair. Something's being done, and to tell us about it, here is Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Catherine Kaywood.
According to a recent study, the seawall to Mamaroneck Harbor is in desperate need of repair. Near the Coast Guard Auxiliary Station in Harbor Island Park, sediment behind the wall was beginning to loosen, and a $2,000 emergency repair was recently done. The seawall was built in the 1930s and has survived numerous nor'easters and hurricanes. It extends from the harbor's east basin to its west basin and keeps sound water from eroding the land. But some sections are in such bad need of repair that the Village Board of Trustees recently appropriated $13,000 to replace stones and complete repairs on the worst sections. The repairs will begin as soon as the weather moderates. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Catherine Kaywood.
New York and Connecticut environmental agencies received input from a citizens advisory group to speed up the plan to reduce nitrogen levels in the Long Island Sound by the year 2010, and are looking to spend $650 million to upgrade sewage treatment plants, which they think will solve part of the problem of the high nitrogen content in the water of Long Island Sound. But critics argue that at least half of the pollution comes from runoff of particles from both lawns and streets, and according to a newly completed $16 million federal study, a total of about 43,000 tons of nitrogen comes from the treatment plants, while over 50 tons comes from natural sources, including animal and plant waste, urban and agricultural runoff such as fertilizers, and airborne pollutants from vehicle exhausts and smokestack emissions. So before they spend all that money, they better come up with a good plan to make sure all their bases are covered and the problems are solved.
What about the nitrogen level in the Mamaroneck sewer plant there on the Boston Post Road? Is that plant up to grade as far as this report is concerned?
By law it is, Roger, because they have done, as you know, an upgrade of that sewage treatment plant already and taken enough land from Harbor Island Park. And there are other ways to solve the problem. There's going to be public comment on this plan.
Okay, so at least for the time being, we don't have to worry about any more new construction at Harbor Island Park at the sewer plant.
I think the county only has about 2 inches of land left.
Oh, that's good news. The town of Mamaroneck is fighting erosion along the Premium River. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Guy Vitro has the details.
The Sheldrake River, which runs through Mamaroneck and flows into Larchmont Acres Lake, known to local residents as the Duck Pond, will undergo a massive planting project in order to stop erosion along its banks. A mix of grasses with deep and shallow roots will be anchored in the soil along the river where it flows into the Duck Pond. This will firm up the soil, allowing people to stand along the embankment without the ground caving in. Flowering perennials will also be planted for the same purpose, and others for their beauty. Yellow and blue flag irises, turtle heads, and marsh hibiscus are planned for the river by the pond. The cost of this venture is upwards of $60,000, half of which will be funded by the state of New York. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Guy Vitro.
A food drive for the needy continues. More on the story from our newest member of the Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News team, Lori Valvano.
Soundview News reports that there is still time to contribute to the Town of Mamaroneck Fire Department annual food drive. The drive will run until February 15th, and the Town Fire Department is again asking for community support in this effort. All contributions directly benefit area needy through the direction of the Hunger Task Force of Larchmont and Mamaroneck. The food pantry is in special need of cereals, canned soups, and baby food. Town residents are asked to bring their non-perishable food contribution to the fire department headquarters at 205 Weaver Street. There's a collection box at the main entrance off Edgewood Avenue. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Lori Valvano.
We would like to welcome Lori Valvano to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. We'll be seeing a lot more of Lori in the weeks ahead. And if any of you viewers who think you might want to help put this program together, well, we'll have details on just how to do that later in the show. Jenny?
Metro North is back in the news. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sven Ome has the story.
Have you noticed that Metro North trains are running a little bit more behind schedule than in previous years? According to the statistics that the railroad provided last week, Metro North trains have slipped in their on-time performance. In 1996, the on-time performance was 94.7%, and in 1995, 95.4% of the trains were on time. The numbers for 1996 do not include the week of January 8th, when our area was hit by a major blizzard that reduced the railroad's service to just a couple of trains per day initially, and many of them arriving with long delays. Had the week of January 8th of last year been included, the railroad's statistical on-time performance would have been worse. For those of you interested in statistics, it would have been 93.2%. Last October, the railroad changed the definition of on-time performance to include trains that arrive just under 6 minutes of their scheduled arrival time. Before, trains were considered on time when they arrived within a 5.5-minute time frame. The extended time frame is used by railroads nationwide. In its statement on on-time performance, Metro North also said that for the first 3 weeks of this January, trains were 97.4% on time. The goal for this year is to reach 96.5%. And that goal may have been missed last week when one train's pantograph, that's the device on top of the trains that picks up the electricity from the overhead wire, didn't come down when the train had to change from overhead wire to third rail between New Rochelle and Pelham stations. Another train was stopped near New Rochelle when the windshield was shattered by a wire. As the power to 3 of the tracks had to be shut off, 8 trains were delayed, some of them up to 30 minutes.
Time now for some other news items from the area police blotter. To tell us more, here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Joe Haviland.
3 vehicles were reported stolen in Mamaroneck Village recently. A 1991 Mazda MX-6 was stolen from the Jefferson Avenue extension. A Pontiac Trans Am was reported stolen from Palmer Terrace Apartments complex on Palmer Avenue. And a 1991 Chevrolet Astra van was stolen from an oriented driveway. A wallet, which was reported missing by a Bronxville woman who works at Murray Avenue School. Tires were slashed on 2 cars parked on South Barry Avenue. A 2-car accident last week resulted in a husband and wife being treated for injuries at the Sound Shore Medical Center of Westchester. Austin Moskowitz, 65, and Gene Moskowitz, 67 of Harrison, were treated for neck and back injuries after their 1985 Mercedes was struck from behind on the Boston Post Road in Mamaroneck by Calvin V. Palmieri, Jr. of Mamaroneck. Palmieri, who was driving a 1991 Dodge, told police he was distracted by a car next to him. Other driving charges included Jonathan B. Pulver of Red Hook, New York, who was charged with third-degree aggravated, unlicensed operation of a motor vehicle and making an illegal right turn at Larchmont Avenue and Boston Post Road. And finally, a 28-year-old Bronx woman was charged with driving a vehicle with a suspended registration on Boston Post Road. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Joe Haviland.
After a year's study of the Larchmont Fire Department, the village trustees are considering a paid administrator to manage the fire department. However, the volunteer chief's position would remain. Former Chief Joe Russo stated, according to the Gannett newspaper, "You have to be careful not to create two departments within one, paid and volunteer." Larchmont's fire department is made up of 14 paid firefighters and a larger number of volunteers. Presently, only 13 of the 14 positions are filled. The study recommends a merger with the Mamaroneck Fire Department, cutting the number of fire trucks, and merging the department's 4 companies into one. The trustees will review the study before any suggestions are implemented. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Glenna Gray.
A new chief to head up an area chamber of commerce. Details from Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Catherine Kaywood.
The Mamaroneck Chamber of Commerce has recently elected a new president, Ramni Singh, she's branch manager of the Dime Savings Bank on Mamaroneck Avenue. Ramni says she looks forward to taking a proactive role in the business and the business community together, and has already formed a committee to look at the short term and develop long-range plans for a healthy economic climate in the village. A networking session for the new and old businesses is planned for February. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Catherine Kaywood.
Winged Foot's hosting of golfing's PGA in mid-August is going to be quite some event for this area, and plans have been in the works for months now. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News spoke with Valerie Moore O'Keefe of the Mamaroneck Town Council.
August 11th through 17th, we have the PGA Championship coming to Winged Foot. And it's the first time since 1923 that the PGA has been in Westchester County, when the championship was played that year at the Pelham Country Club. And we are actively planning with Winged Foot, the town police and the town government and the state and the county to study and to plan for traffic and for parking.
Because this will have a major impact.
Major impact. We expect 15,000 people a day on the weekdays and between 25 and 30,000 on the weekend. So that's lots and lots of people coming into the town.
And it probably will take some toll on local residents in that area, I would think.
Well, what we're trying to arrange, and I think we will arrange, or the PGA organizers will arrange, are mostly remote parking sites like Yonkers Raceway and places in New Rochelle. Yeah.
So we're definitely looking forward to that, I guess. And this summer we'll put Mamaroneck on the map,
yes.
but nationwide.
I remember as a child the U.S. Open being here and going to see Sam Snead and Ben Hogan. That must have been around 1950-something. And then I think in 1984 the U.S. Open was back at Winged Foot. But this time Winged Foot will not permit any automobiles to be parked on the other golf course. So we have to be sure that we get the cars away from the club area and not to inconvenience our own residents.
Well, this is certainly a story that we'll follow until we get to August 11th to the 17th,
yes.
right? Is when it's
August, not April. Right. August.
If the Mamaroneck Avenue Task Force has their way, new signs featuring the Mamaroneck Village seal will soon go up around the shopping district. These signs, which Village Trustee Martha Sokol-McCarty in a Daily Times interview called "Very Appealing and Functional," would feature instructions directing motorists to parking and other attractions in the village. Designed by Traffic Commissioner William Panessa, the cream-colored signs are expected to complement other initiatives taken by the task force to make Mamaroneck Avenue more attractive. Current signs are more commercial-looking. The new signs, which will be done in-house to cut costs, are expected to be reviewed by the Board of Trustees this week. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Joe Haviland.
Members of the 5th and 6th grade cast of The Boyfriend, soon to run at the Chatsworth Avenue School, gave a pre-show interview with Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray.
We're going to be performing a play at Chatsworth Avenue School called The Boyfriend.
When?
It's on January 31st, which is Friday night, and Saturday night, February 1st.
Oh, I see. Only 2 performances?
Well, we're going to be doing morning shows, too, on Tuesday and Thursday.
But the two night performances are for the public.
Yes.
And so everyone in the village is invited to come?
Uh-huh.
And do we have to pay?
Yes. To get a ticket.
We have to get a ticket, yeah, so we have to pay. And then the money from the ticket is used to support the play.
Yes.
Right? Now, I think I heard someone saying that there are 2 casts. Is this?
A and B.
A and B. And what is the difference between cast A and cast B? Yes?
Well, cast A performs on Saturday night, and I think, yes, Tuesday morning, and cast B performs on Thursday morning, and cast A performs at nighttime on Friday night, and cast B performs at nighttime on Saturday night, and cast A performs in the morning on Tuesday night, and cast B performs in the morning on Thursday night.
That's all right. We've got the message. It's January 31st and February 1st, correct? At Chatsworth Avenue School. Good old Chatsworth Avenue, Chatsworth and Forest Park Avenue. Now, give me just a little synopsis of what the play is about.
Well, the play, The Boyfriend, takes place 1920s France is the setting, and it's about girls from a young ladies' school, and they're all excited to go to a ball, and so they're all trying to get dates for the ball, and that's how I'm Tony in the play, and she's Polly, and that's how we meet. We bump into each other when I'm delivering her dress, and everybody kind of gets together, and it's a nice play, which is funny and has many nice scenes.
Looks like that's going to be a fun show to
Oh, it's
see.
exciting for the kids.
Just a few more days to catch a photo exhibit in the Larchmont Library. It's on Larchmont's Manor Park, a series of panoramic pictures shot by Larchmont photographer Kate Hayes Fleming. You can see the photographs in the reading room and the periodical room of the Larchmont Library until the end of the month. That's it for this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News for the last week of January 1997. In case you missed any portion of this news show, you can see it again.
This program is on Channel 14 LMC-TV Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Also, you can call LMC-TV and ask to see this week's news show. The number to call is 698-6808 after 4 p.m.
The crew at LMC-TV will do their best to put the Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News Program on at a time that's convenient for you to watch. Remember, the number to call after 4 p.m. is 698-6808. Ask to see the news show.
Those of us who produce this news program are all volunteers, and we can always use some help. It's a fun community activity.
If you think you might want to join us, drop by when we record the program. That's about every Thursday night. We do the show at the LMC-TV studio located in Mamaroneck High School on the Palmer Avenue side, just up the stairs from Walter's Hot Dog Stand. We get things going around 7 o'clock.
Please send your comments, suggestions, and news items to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, care of LMC-TV, 1 Library Lane, Mamaroneck 10543.
Thanks for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norham.
And I'm Ginny Newmeister. We'll see you next time.
And now it's only about 7 weeks until spring, and we leave you with some Charleston music from the Chatsworth Avenue School promotion of The Boyfriend.
Won't you Charleston with me? Won't you Charleston with me? And while the band is playing that old rodeo, around we will go. Together we'll show them how the Charleston is done. We'll surprise everyone. Just think what heaven is gonna be if you will Charleston with me.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing you January 31st from
Mamaroneck Village Democrats announce candidate for mayor.
Larchmont Village Board says no to consolidation.
2 Mamaroneck High students arrested in Rye.
The entrance to Harbor Island Park may finally get a restaurant.
Mamaroneck Town Hall gets decorator's touch.
Community officials pay tribute to Joe Fraioli.
And telephone slamming on the rise.
These stories and more on this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
Hello and welcome to the first full week of February and another edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norham.
And I'm Ginny Newmeister. Our top story.
Democrat Mamaroneck Village trustee Archie Giannunzio will oppose Mayor Joe Lanza in next month's local elections. The Democrats nominated Giannunzio at last week's Democrat caucus meeting. Also selected was Gloriana Palancia to run for village trustee. Palancia ran in the last election as a Democrat a year ago for trustee and lost. Giannunzio is currently a trustee on the village board and has been active in Mamaroneck Democrat politics for more than 20 years. Mamaroneck Republicans have already selected incumbent Mayor Joe Lanza and Deputy Mayor Walter Rogers to run for re-election. Meantime, over in Larchmont, one of our very own is running for a trustee position. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray was nominated by Larchmont Democrats to run for one of the 2 trustee seats. Incumbent Democrat village trustee Marianne Mumma is running for re-election. Larchmont Republicans nominated incumbent Ken Bialo to run for re-election. Larchmont Republicans are not offering a second candidate to run for the other village board seat. Marianne Mumma was named to the Larchmont board by Mayor Cheryl Louie a year ago to fill the term of Republican Ava Birdsell, who resigned during her term. Last March, Mumma was elected for a 1-year term. Besides volunteering for Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, Democrat Glenna Gray is also Human Rights Commissioner in the village of Larchmont. She hosts the TV program Community Connections on this station. Other positions to be filled in the March 18 elections. Larchmont Village Justice Harvey R. Brown is up for re-election. He will be opposed by Thea S. Beaver, who has been Deputy Village Prosecutor since last year. Over the next couple of weeks, we hope to speak with all the candidates. Jenny?
Larchmont ignores paid consultants' advice and abandons the idea for consolidation services. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Lori Valvano has the story.
After spending $38,500 to conduct a study to see if they should consolidate their fire department with that of the town of Mamaroneck, the Village Board of Larchmont voted a flat no to the whole idea. The professional consulting firm hired by Larchmont to review the fire department, which cost the village over $1 million a year, was prompted by excessive overtime costs. The study found that consolidation would be beneficial to the community it served, but trustee Marianne Mumma, in a Soundview News article, said that the Larchmont residents want their own fire and police departments.
Mamaroneck Village will soon choose which developer to put the shovel in the ground for the Harbor Island restaurant. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Kathleen Hurley has the update.
Now that the Regatta Condominium project is underway, Mamaroneck Village's Restaurant Committee is looking to move forward with plans for the waterfront restaurant at the entrance to Harbor Island Park. The discussion with the 2 developers were delayed when the village attorney was asked by trustee Archie Giannunzio if the restaurant could be located within the park itself. According to a member of the committee, the main purpose of locating the restaurant at the harbor entrance was to anchor the revitalization of Mamaroneck Avenue and creating a visible destination for boaters, motorists, and pedestrians alike, as well as increasing the tax base to the village. We'll keep you updated on the continuing developments. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Kathleen Hurley.
Mamaroneck High School students Marco Pietrangelo of Homix Road and Jonathan Pincus of Claflin Avenue in Mamaroneck were both arrested by Rye City Police on January 24th. 16-year-old Pietrangelo was charged with third-degree assault after punching another student, and a felony charge was leveled against 17-year-old Pincus, who was identified causing more than $3,000 damage to a student's car in the Rye High parking lot. In the Daily Times report, the two teens arrested were part of a larger group of Mamaroneck High School students who went to the Rye School. Police are unsure why they were there. Roger?
The town of Mamaroneck Fire Department will be climbing up a new ladder soon. It's attached to a brand new fire truck that's been approved by town officials. More on the story from Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Lori Valvano.
The town of Mamaroneck approved a bid to replace its 25-year-old fire truck. The new Tower Ladder fire truck is a 100-foot aerial ladder, which will allow faster rescues. The board received 2 bids and settled on a truck from Wisconsin, costing over $400,000. The new truck will complement the one owned by the Larchmont Fire Department, which is better for removing injured victims and fighting roof fires. Delivery of the new truck will take about 12 to 15 months.
Joe Fraioli was honored last week for his work as administrator of the Larchmont Mamaroneck Cable TV Board of Control. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sven Ome spoke with Joe Fraioli.
What did you have to do as an administrator of the Board of Control?
As the administrator, became the administrator to make it short, is that we do have an agreement, a tri-municipal cable TV shared agreement, and that agreement is establish a Board of Control, and the Board of Control is comprised of 1 elected official from the 3 communities, Village Larchmont, Village Mamaroneck, and Town of Mamaroneck. And also in that agreement, there is an administrator and there is a treasurer. And the administrator is the village manager, Village of Mamaroneck, and the treasurer is the treasurer for the Village of Larchmont.
And especially, I guess, the last 2 or 3 years meant a lot of hard work because you were involved in the negotiations with TCI.
The last couple of years were real hectic. I mean, it was very mind-boggling. The paperwork was out of it. I think that I accumulated more paper in the last 2 years than I did in the prior 5 years.
But I think you were probably very happy that to the end of your term as an administrator on the Cable TV Board of Control that the negotiations were completed and we do have a new agreement for the next 10 years.
Without a doubt, I'm very well pleased with that. I'm not too thrilled that I'm no longer administrator of the Cable TV Board of Control, because from here on in it's going to be easy riding because there isn't that much involved. It'll be a learning process for the manager in the Village of Mamaroneck. But yes, we got a very good agreement. It enhanced, definitely going to enhance LMC-TV. And hopefully that, you know, down the road it will get bigger and bigger as I anticipated initially, my first involvement.
Yeah. And I think we should mention that you were born in Mamaroneck and you've lived in the area and worked in the area most of your life. So,
correct.
So you really know, I guess, almost every corner of our area.
Yes. Yeah.
Finally, I guess also on behalf of the news show and the people who are involved in the news show, I'd like to thank you for your hard work on making it possible that we can be here and tape our shows every week. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Whatever small part I was able to play, I'm glad I was able to do it.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you.
If you would like to find out more about Joseph Fraioli, call LMC-TV at 698-6808 and request to see A Conversation with Joe Fraioli, hosted by Mike Witch. Roger?
Yeah, a lot of people might know and remember Joe Fraioli as a former village manager in Mamaroneck and really doing a lion's share of the work on negotiating this contract with LMC-TV and TCI.
Well, he's been in Mamaroneck, I think, almost all his life, if not all his life. And he was a very dedicated to the village.
And also, wasn't he was very instrumental in bringing TCI, the structure of the building, to Mamaroneck Village, wasn't he, in the industrial section? Yeah. Well, Joe Fraioli. In the continuing effort to have more affordable housing in our area, 2 new homes are being built in Mamaroneck Village in the Washingtonville area. These two houses on Howard Avenue are special, made possible by land donated by Mamaroneck Village and a $50,000 grant from Westchester County. The groundbreaking took place January 24th, and the two modular pre-built houses will be sold by the Washingtonville Housing Alliance for $114,000 each. Compare that price to the $300,000 average selling price of a house in Mamaroneck Village. Not just anyone will be able to buy the homes. A Mamaroneck Village employee will be one of the new homeowners. The other buyer will be picked by lottery. However, only families with a household income of $45,000 or less annually will be able to enter the lottery. Both homes will have 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, a basement, eat-in kitchen, deck, and garage, also carpeting and light fixtures. The houses should be ready to move in by springtime.
Anyone who's been to the Mamaroneck Town Center can't help but notice the big blank white wall in the Town Council meeting room, which also doubles as the town courtroom. It's not going to be a blank white wall too much longer. To explain why, here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Kathleen Hurley with the story.
As we had told you last week, Mamaroneck's municipal offices will be brightened up soon with a new mural, thanks to Alton S. Toby. He is an artist who has lived in the town since the 50s, and he is volunteering his time to this project. The new mural will portray many of the unique characteristics of the town which have made it so special. What is unique about this mural is that it will be painted by 6 to 10 teenagers in the community under Alton Toby's direction. This is a great opportunity for these students who will be eligible for a special college scholarship fund. Well, we hope that Alton Toby and the teenagers have a lot of fun painting and that Supervisor Price is successful with their fundraising. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Kathleen Hurley.
The Student Aid Fund gets ready for its 60th anniversary in Mamaroneck. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sven Ome has the details.
This year, the Mamaroneck Larchmont Student Aid Fund celebrates its 60th anniversary. The fund, which goes back to the year 1937, provides students with scholarships for their college education. Currently, 1 in every 5 Mamaroneck High School students receives money from the fund. Last year, 51 scholarships were awarded to students. This year, applications have to be received by April 15th. Students will be notified of their approval by June, and the funds provided by the Student Aid Fund are sent directly to the colleges. If you'd like to make a tax-deductible donation, please send a check to the Mamaroneck Larchmont Student Aid Fund, care of Mamaroneck High School, 1000 West Boston Post Road, Mamaroneck, New York, 10543. This year, as part of the fund's 60th anniversary celebration, anyone who makes a donation of $600 or more will have his or her name inscribed on a plaque in the College Guidance Office at Mamaroneck High School.
Our neighbors in New Rochelle are anxious to start producing their own TV programs for their own public access channel. Details from Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Catherine Kaywood.
Do the LMC-TV viewers appreciate their wonderful public access stations? Here at LMC, we have 2 TV studios with a 3rd facility planned for Rye-Neck. But were you aware that New Rochelle doesn't even have 1 TV studio of their own? They had been using the TCI studio in White Plains, but it closed in November. Since then, some programs have been showing reruns and other programs have been temporarily replaced. Meanwhile, the city of New Rochelle has agreed to spend $12,000 so that its producers may tape their shows in Larchmont or White Plains. The New Rochelle Cable Television Advisory Committee will study how to set up a studio and what it would cost. And the city is also meeting with hospital and school officials to determine whether they can pool their resources to share costs of building their own studio in the future. They could just come to visit one of our LMC-TV studios to see how successfully a much smaller municipality has developed a wonderful cable access station. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Catherine Kaywood.
Many telephone customers already have experienced so-called slamming, being switched to a new long-distance carrier without being aware of it. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sven Ome has more.
More and more area residents are becoming victims of being switched from their chosen long-distance telephone carrier to another one. Mostly the telephone customers don't even notice it until the next telephone bill comes in the mail. Telephone officials call this slamming. If you notice that you have been slammed, call NYNEX and tell NYNEX that you were switched against your will. Ask to be disconnected from the company that slammed you, and ask that you are connected back to your old carrier. You should also call the telephone company that slammed you and tell that company that you will only pay for any service at the rates that the old carrier charged. Also call your old carrier and tell the old carrier that you asked NYNEX to reconnect you to them. In case you cannot reach a satisfactory solution to your problem, you can also contact the Federal Communications Commission in Washington. If you have not yet been slammed, you can call NYNEX and you can ask them that they put a freeze on your current long-distance carrier. Once a freeze has been placed on your telephone line, you can only be switched when you personally authorize NYNEX to do so.
2 county-run transportation facilities received a visit from legislator George Latimer. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Catherine Kaywood with details.
Westchester County legislator George Latimer recently toured 2 key elements of Westchester County's transportation system, the Beeline Bus Center in Yonkers and the Westchester County Airport. The bus service and the airport comprise the core of the county's programs in transportation. Rail service and the interstates in Westchester are not operated by the county. Latimer's visit to the airport as a member of the county's Airport Advisory Board included his attendance at the quarterly lottery for takeoffs and landing slots, where airlines compete in bidding for available times for scheduled flights within the restriction of 240 passengers per hour. At the Beeline Bus Center, Latimer saw the garage, including equipment and maintenance and related shops, and the offices, including the scheduling room. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Catherine Kaywood.
And that's it for this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News for the first week of February 1997. In case you missed any portion of this news program, you can see it again.
This program is on Channel 14 LMC-TV Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Also, you can call LMC-TV and ask to see this week's news show. The number to call is 698-6808 after 4 p.m.
The crew at LMC-TV will do their best to put Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News on at a time that's convenient for you to watch. Remember, the number to call after 4 p.m. is 698-6808. Ask to see the news show.
Those of us who produce this news program are all volunteers, and we can always use some help. It's a fun community activity.
If you think you might want to join us, drop by when we record the program. That's about every Thursday night. We do so do the show at the LMC-TV studio located in Mamaroneck High School on the Palmer Avenue side. It's just up the stairs from Walter's Hot Dog Stand. We get things going around 7 o'clock.
Please send your comments, suggestions, and news items to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, care of LMC-TV, 1 Library Lane, Mamaroneck, New York, 10543.
And thanks for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norham.
And I'm Ginny Newmeister. See you next time.
And the groundhog hoopla is over, and that leaves us with just over 6 weeks to the official first day of spring.
I hope that in the future, and I hope to continue to stay around here, that LMC-TV will grow, get out more into the community, and we'll be able to financially do things that they've wanted to do in the past. I want to thank all past Board of Control members, advisory committee members, and I'm happy that Mary Ann's going to show up. Mary Ann was helpful to me. It was all new to her at the beginning, but she was very, very helpful to me, as along with Frank Light and Mike from now and then. Once in a while, Mike, but I always knew where Mike was coming from because he was with the school, and I just said, geez, you know, he's wearing 2 hats now. Where is he sitting? But they all had the interest of the community at heart. So I want to thank everybody. Thank you people for being here tonight. I really didn't expect this. It was not necessary because whatever I did because I wanted to do it. I enjoyed doing it. I met a lot of wonderful people and dedicated people, and of course volunteers as we have here tonight. So I want to thank all of you very much.
Joe, just stay here for 1 second. I just want to thank you for participating in this our little half-hour look down Cable's memory lane, and maybe we can do it again with all of your perspective. And I hope your energy keeps you here for a long time. And I wasn't kidding about that Crossfire type show.
Yeah,
I think you do a heck of a job. And I want to thank the folks who are watching at home. And please join and give Joe Fraioli another round of applause, and then we'll adjourn for some refreshments. Thank you, and congratulations, Joe Fraioli.
Was the first tape?